Samantha here, and welcome back to my channel and another installment of Sims 4 Basics of Machinima Making. I think that's what I was calling it. And first off, I apologize that it has taken me so long to add another video to this series. Honestly, I don't even have an excuse for it. Besides, I just haven't had the time. There's like a lot of projects on my plate right now that's even not in you guys's, I guess, eyesight right now. And then there's some things, other things going on behind the scenes. So I just find it very difficult for me to play catch up and actually record this series. But I did see a lot of comments. You guys were like, when's the next one coming? You know, this is helpful, da da da. So I definitely wanted to keep to my commitment to you guys and actually continue with this series. So this is part 3. Hopefully you guys have seen part 1 and part 2. If you haven't, you might want to pause it. On part 1, I did the basics of the angles and cameras and panning and things of that nature in order to get the right angles. And on part 2, I did the actual video recording, setting up your recording settings, how to record and things of that nature. So on this episode, I am planning on doing the action part of it. So how to get your Sims to actually act, which is kind of a bit of manipulating this to say the least. And, you know, but of course there's different methods of how you could do this. Personally, I'm going to show you the ones that I employ when I do machinima making. And I won't even say that there's like a right or a wrong way of doing this, because I know already some people might be like, oh, I don't do it this way, or I do it that way, whatever. It's just whatever works best for you and whatever you're comfortable with. Of course, like I've said before, and I always say, when you're making machinimas and you're doing things of this nature, it is your art. You know, it is how you perceive the story that you're trying to tell. So it's best come from you. So there is no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just the way that you want to do it and the way you want to portray your story. So, I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. Hopefully you could catch something from it. If not, you know, I understand, but feel free to ask questions down below. I will try my hardest to answer all the questions. If not, I'll do a video doing like the frequently asked questions like later on down the series as we progress and finish up this series. Anyway, we are with our couple. If you guys have been following this series, we have the DJ and the neighbor. And he's finally, after they've met, he's finally asked her on a date. So they are like having their first little date in San Myshuno, this beautiful restaurant that's on top of the tallest building in San Myshuno. So they get to have the views of the city, and he's just overlooking the menu. So before we get started real quick, and I'm just going to actually do the acting portion on this date so I can show you guys how I set up everything. There's a couple things I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that I use when I'm doing machinima making. So first and foremost, some mods that I use are are definitely MC Command Mod, which hopefully everybody knows what MC Command Mod is. But if you don't, or if you aren't familiar with it, I'll put a link for the download in the description box. But what's one good thing that's good about MC Command Mod is you actually can cheat a lot of the Sims emotions and stuff like that. So what I like to do is change Sim mood in order to get different emotions put across. So if your Sim is sad and you want to portray like a sad mood, you can go to negative moods. You can click sad, tense, angry, just whatever. Same thing goes with the good moods. You can do like a flirty mood. You can do like a regular happy mood, things of that nature, confident, just whatever. And if you notice, if you especially pay attention to your Sims and how they speak and how they move their body and things of that nature, they do things differently depending upon what their mood is. So if you want to have them be super flirty, they're both already flirty. I guess it's the lot. I don't know. But anyway, if you want them to be like super flirty, you want to make sure you put it on flirty. And then when they talk, they might, toss their head back, or they might, move their shoulder a little bit differently. And that's part of all of the acting, situation. Another thing I like to use too is UI cheats, because unfortunately when you're dealing with Sims, they always have something going on with them. So UI cheats just basically makes it super easy for you to fill your Sims needs. Another thing you can do is if you have testing treats true on, which is a cheat that goes in the cheat bar, you could actually shift click your Sims and you could cheat their need and make them happy. So that way all of their needs are met. But in this case, I just want to tweak his bladder a little bit. So I could just click where I want it to go. And the same thing with Raylan here, her bladder and her fun and everything. So I just want to make sure we don't have any issues, because when they're acting, you want to make sure that they're actually able to act and not be worried about having to use the bathroom. Another thing I like to keep in mind too when I'm doing machinimas is definitely headline effects off, which is what I talked about on the last part. And I showed you guys how to take that off, because if you have headline effects on, normally when you hover over your Sim, they'll have like a plumb bob. They'll have like the information about what their name is, their age and stuff of that nature. So it takes all that stuff off so you could just focus on the Sims themselves. And I also take autonomy off, which is under game options. And I cut it completely off so that way they won't get up and be walking around and doing whatever they do when they do. Okay, I think that is all. Let me check my notes real quick, because I'm really bad about forgetting stuff. Yes. Another thing I like to use as far as mods and stuff goes is Andrew's Pose Player, which I have also done reviews and stuff on that mod as well. And that comes in handy a lot when because unfortunately there are some things that you want your Sims to do that they actually won't be able to do because of limitations of the game. But Andrew's Pose Player has it available where if you download certain animations, certain poses, you can still portray certain stories and have it be like a pose or an animation. So that is another mod that I use, and we will go through all of that here in a second. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place because I'm trying to remember everything I wanted to talk about. So one good thing about doing the acting, especially when it comes to the Sims, is what I like to do is just set up certain situations. So in this case, we have our couple, our new couple, or possibly potential new couple. They're on their first date, and she's probably super nervous, and he's probably, I don't know, super confident. He's a DJ. He probably gets hit on by girls all the time, but I want to make it where they're just kind of getting to know each other and everything. So what I would like to do first is just toggle up a bunch of interactions. So people I notice when they make machinimas, they do it differently. A lot of people will actually do just all Andrew's Pose Player type animations, but me personally, because I like the aesthetic of the game already, I like to just finagle it based on the interactions that we already get in the game. So for friendly, I'm going to ask about his day and probably do a little bit of tell an insider story, and I'm just going to toggle up some animations or some interactions. We could discuss interest, and of course all of these have like different their conversations look a little bit different. So depending upon the story that you're trying to tell, you might want to ask certain things. If you want them to be flirty, you might want to do like some romantic things. We want to flirt a little bit, which we need to do anyway in order to make this date, I guess, stellar. We want to compliment his appearance. And then the same thing goes for him. I'll have him do some interactions back and forth with her. They kind of go back and forth and toggle between the two. So it's not going to be like a set thing. So you just kind of like got to watch and see what they're saying and what they're talking about. He might want to tell her a funny story. So I'm going to have him tell her a dirty joke since he's in a flirty mood. So, he's looking at the menu right now. So what I'll probably do in this situation, since he's looking and she's kind of like already kind of facing him, I would go in and set it up where she does like the talking first. So of course, which I showed you guys in the previous episodes, I always record in tab mode, and that's just basically tab on your keyboard. And you could kind of like move the mouse around. You could zoom in, zoom out, do whatever you need to do. Press Q to drop down, depending upon what angle you're trying to get at, or press E to kind of go up if you want to do like a top down angle. It just depends on, I mean, personally, I would say like there's one that's better than the other one, but it really depends on what you're trying to capture. If we're just trying to capture like just interaction with each other, I'd probably do like a face on like this. If I was doing something where I was doing a point of view, I probably would do something further down. But if I want to do something that's a little bit more dramatic and I want to get like something like this, I'd probably do like a bottom down. But because we're just doing like just basic interactions, I'd probably do this. And shortcuts on your keyboard are so important. And we talked about this in another episode as well. 1 is to play, 0 is to pause. To me, that's the easiest thing because you don't have to get out of tab mode. You can just keep your view steady, and you don't have to get in and out and try to reset up your shot and hope that it's the same angle and it's the same height, whatever. So I just keep it in tab mode. I press 1 to hit play, and there we go. So now she's talking to him and they're having their little conversation. The only thing that's a little bit, I guess, upsetting or disturbing about these pluses and these light bulbs is unfortunately they will be in your shot, you know, but as they're talking, you could just press V on your keyboard, actually record. So right now I'm recording, she's telling some hysterical story of some sort. And then if I want to get his face, I could just press 0 to pause. Then I'll take my arrow key and kind of rotate over to where we're on his face. And then I can kind of zoom in and do like this shot, maybe right behind her head. Press 1 again. And then now I have him saying like, what? Like, what is she talking about? And then we could just do that. So personally, that's how I like to do the acting. It kind of helps if you already have like a storyboard or like a story that you're trying to tell. And when I tell you guys, I legit make storyboards. I set up scenes. I do like the interactions, what would you call it? Like the lines and stuff like that. So for some reason, he is totally, I mean, he's looking at her, but he's like more interested in this menu than anything. So I'm gonna go back to her for a little bit. She's probably like super nervous right now and probably fumbling her words. And it's funny because they're making eye contact, but it's probably not what you would envision for a first date. But anyway, I like to do storyboards. There's actually a really cool tool, and I'll link that in the description box as well. It's like a little printout, and it's like boxes. It look like little comic book strips or whatever. And if you want to just kind of write out or draw out like how you want each scene to go, once you realize what story you want to tell, it's kind of easy to set up the scenes based on that. So I know right now they're just having their first date, so I'm just going to have them probably do something like this. And he's like into the menu, probably a little bit more than he's into her. And that's kind of like the story at this point. Now she wants to flirt with him a little bit, maybe catch his attention, and he's waving back and everything's okay. So we're going to stop it right there. And we're pretty much done with the little interaction of the scene. So probably what I will do next is have him just go on and order for the table. And let's just go on and do that. So it's like pretty much just like, oop, and press V to stop that recording. So make sure you toggle your recordings on and off, because I mean, why else would you have it just playing like that? Anyway, so they're still talking and everything. So it's pretty much just like playing the game, like essentially. And you know, we could just go from there. So I'm gonna have him order for the table really quickly. And what I like to do, especially when you're doing scenes like this, is just order something up. I'm just gonna do some sour punch for both of them. And then let's see, what would be a really appetizing looking meal to have? Turkey dinner. Okay, I thought this was like a steakhouse. Okay, let's do steak for both of them, and then just go from there. So we're gonna pause it really quickly because the waiter is gonna come by and take the order. Sometimes you gotta play like a guessing game, because I want to catch the waiter coming over to take the order. So I'm just gonna press play. Hopefully, I don't know who's gonna be the waiter here in a second. All right, so we're gonna wait to see who the waiter is, because I want to catch him coming over to take the menu. Take the order, I'm sorry. So I'm trying to see, okay, is this going to be the guy? That's not the waiter. Okay, I'm just trying to wait to see who's the waiter so I can see, is it going to be the lady here? Okay, it's going to be the lady. All right, cool. So I'm going to get down here, and what's his face is in my view shot right now. So I'm going to get down here. Of course, she would need a total makeover at this point, and try to get like the view of her taking the order, so it can have like a little bit more. And again, if I want to do like something a little bit more point of viewish, honestly, if I don't really like how she's looking right now, because I kind of don't, I probably would do like a point of view shot at this point. So meaning point of view, like I am the waitress or waiter and I'm going down to get their order. Maybe Maybe I could be like right here. For some reason, she's taking the order and not him. I mean, she's giving the order and not him. Not really happy with that shot. Okay, so it's really just a guessing game, y'all. Like I said, there is no right or wrong way how to do this. I'm just not really digging. Okay, I guess I could do it from this angle. Maybe. Okay. And sometimes I like to get down in the person's head too. I know that sounds really crazy, especially if you want to do like a view of like what you could be seeing if you're standing up over them. But I'm not really digging this right now. Okay. All right. So if I'm in her head right now, this is the view. I'm not in her head anymore. Okay. This is her eyes. All right. So if I'm in her view right now, this is kind of like what she's looking at. And we could get the view like this, but I'm not really digging that view right now. I think it really comes like if you want to do point of views, like you're talking like you're the person, you're in the person's body. Those come in handy. I know I did it a couple times in my Harley Quinn Machinima because I did have Harley Quinn like waking up and she was looking around and stuff like that. So I like to do it in people's bodies, you know, when you want to have that point of view. But for her taking the order, I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm just trying to play around with it. It's such a guessing game at this point. I guess we'll just do it from here, but I don't really like this angle either. So I guess we'll just do it from here at this point. I don't like that she's taking the order right now. But anyway, I'll just go on and hit V, hit 1, and have her go on and tell the order. And the lady is taking the order right now. All right, there we go. And she's walking off to take the order. And then at this point, I'd probably flip the camera. I'm going to press V to cut the recording off. And probably at this point, I flip the camera and maybe do it from this point. So I'm just going to toggle them up, talking some more. They need to socialize about meal, have deep conversations. So I would probably have him at this point. Actually, I'm going to start off with her because she is facing me right now. So I'm going to have her ask about his love life. And then do probably get to know and friendly, deep conversation. And truth be told, y'all, you could toggle up all this stuff and it really doesn't matter. It kind of matters, but it really doesn't matter because with the end result will always be in your editing. So of course I can have them talk to each other for hours essentially, but you might only see 5 minutes of it in the actual machinima. But it's pretty much like, just based on, but you just want to get as much footage as you want, as you possibly can. So I'm hitting V again. We're going to press 1, going to get these little deep conversations. So she's asking about his love life right now. He's kind of just like, I just been around. I don't really date seriously or anything like that. So he's doing his little part of the conversation. She's kind of like, okay, I get it. And so I guess at this point, I'd probably pause it. All right. And then let me go over to his side and maybe get like his point of view at this point. And I kind of like doing these back shots like this, but you could also do like some front shots where it's just like smacking his face like this. He's a really good looking Sim. And then he could just talk like this. Look at his face though. I'm probably way too close, but I can scoot back a little bit. There we go. And he's talking right now and they're having their little conversation. And then I could go back over here. And I mean, essentially you get the point. You just kind of like go back and forth and, just get their conversations or what have you and get the little different angles and these little, I wish that there was a mod. If you guys know of one, let me know. But I wish there was a mod where you could get rid of those pluses and light bulbs and things of that nature. But, right now, I don't know of one. I don't. So anyway, they're having their conversation and stuff right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit V, cut that off, and then we're done pretty much with that part of the scene. And now let's say, for example, and this is part of where MC Command and Mod and stuff comes in handy. He's sleepy right now. So let me go on and toggle that up, get him a little bit up so he won't lose character, so to speak. She's hungry. I'm okay with that because they're going to get food here in a second. But let's say that she says something to him that's kind of embarrassing and she wants to crawl in a hole at this point. So she's super flirty right now. This is where MC Command Mod would come in. So I'd go to MC Cheats, go to change sim mood, and we'd go to negative mood and make her embarrassed. So the only, oh goodness, she got mortified quick. The only problem with MC Command Mod, and I don't know if this is like for everybody or just my particular version, but for my particular version, they always do the furthest extreme. If I do embarrassed, they do mortified. If I say flirty, they do very flirty. If I say angry, they're like morbid, they're just like ready to like kill over, so it's like sometimes you got to watch this right now. Her face right here though is everything. So she just said something, and probably what I would do is do it from his point of view. I wish there was a way I can make him like scratch his head, and there probably is a way. As a matter of fact, I know that there's probably a way. So let's do Andrew's pose player real quick. And I'm going to show you guys like this little trick. So Andrew's pose player, you can actually pose by pack. There's a bunch of packs you could download. And honestly, I can link you guys to some of my favorite pose creators, but there is so many out there. It would probably take up the entire YouTube description box. So I'll just link you to a couple of them. But the easiest way to look for some is probably go on Tumblr or just Google search Sims 4 animations or Sims 4 poses. And then you can go through the image search and just kind of like get some poses and stuff you're looking for. And this is where Storyboard comes in handy. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping around, but this is where Storyboard comes in handy, because if you know for your story, you're going to need like a hospital scene, or you're going to need like an arrest scene, like with handcuffs and stuff, then you could already have everything planned out. You go look for your poses, look for your animations, and then stick them in your game. So that way, when you're ready to record, everything is already there. So that's the reason why planning and stuff is so important when you're doing the acting part of it. So, but with Andrew's Pose Player, you could also do pose by name. So when you first download Andrew's Pose Player, make sure that you grab the text file that comes with it. And it pretty much is every single in-game animation that's known in the game. So when you do pose by name, you would just type that in. So I'm going to show you guys how I do this. So here I am with the animation.txt document that comes with Pose Player. You actually have to download it separately. It just says right here, download a full list of in-game animations here. And it could be a little bit daunting when you first download it, because you're like, oh my gosh. But I mean, truth be told, this is every single animation that we know of, I'm sure, that's in the game. So one thing I like to do when I'm looking for a particular pose is I just like to search. So I do Control F, and that pulls up like the search bar right there. And I want him to kind of like scratch his temple. So I'm going to type in scratch and see if anything comes up. And we're going to do scratch right here. And it says fire needs scratch. We're just going to kind of like go through them right now. There's more than 100 matches, so it might take a while. So I'm just going to go next until we get, and we're going to see, okay, pamper scratch head. We're not going to do that one. Pamper, what it says, scratch. That's pamper again. Pamper. All right, scratch cheek book. All right, scratch cheek seated book. I don't know what that is, but anyway, okay, this is scratch cheek, but it's reading. So it's reading. So we're going to go and do that one. That's writing, where he's scratching his cheek. All right, so we're not going to do that one. But it's the one where he kind of looks kind of quizzical. And scratch right. Okay, so it's like you have kind of, okay, so here it is, chest idle thinking, scratch head seated. That one might actually work. And the only reason why I'm thinking that is because he's probably in the process, on this particular animation, he's probably in the process of maybe making a move, and he doesn't know what move he's going to make. So he's kind of scratching his head thinking about it. So I'm just going to highlight that entire thing. I'm going to Control C, or just right click and copy. Then when you get back in game, you're going to go on and type in that same thing. But instead of typing it in, because it is crazy long, I'm just going to hit Control V. Oh, there it is. And we're going to go on and hit checkbox, and I'm going to go on and zoom in on him. Hopefully this is the right pose, but if it is, he should hit it immediately. So let's see. Right now he's super flirty, but he's going to scratch his. Let's see if it works. Okay, so this one isn't the right. Is it the right one or no? Okay, it's not the right one. So let's see real quick, because I think. All right. Chat with Raylan. Let's try it one more time. MC. I'm sorry. More choices. It might not be the right one, because sometimes you have to kind of toggle through and just figure out which one it is. But it might not be the right one. Let's see. So no, that one's not the right one. All right, because he's not playing chess. So let's go back and go next, because I want the one loop scratch. That's Cowplant. Okay. Super scratch DJ booth. Nope. Scratch head. Okay. Don't wake llama idle scratch head seated. This probably won't be it either, because I'm thinking if they're saying that you have to be in this certain situation, but let's try it. Won't hurt to try it. I know I've used this method before, like if I want to get Sims to clap and stuff like that. This comes in handy for that type of stuff. So let's go back into game and type it in here. So we're going to do, again, pose by name. We're going to Control V, go on and hit the checkbox, and hopefully that's it. All right. Nope, that's not it either. So let's go look for it. We got to kind of just go through all of them. I know it's very tedious, but okay. So that's read, scratch, cheek magazine, scratch, cheek. All right. Read, scratch, head thinking. But these again are read. See, but if we want to get the seated one, because I'm thinking like, Okay, let's try this one and see. I think is if it's a situation, because like I said, that guys, when you're doing this, you really have to just kind of play around with it. So it might be a situational type thing. Like I have to be reading in order for him to do that. And honestly, that says, let's see real quick if this does it. Nope, that doesn't do it either. All right, so let's go back and see scratch head thinking. So let's just continue until we see something that just says, just idle, scratch head, lay down, sit on ground. Okay, look at this one. AC, idle, scratch head, X. Let's see if that's the one. Because I know that there is obviously one because he did it earlier. He was like, what? Which honestly, if you're recording, you could go back to that scene and put that when you're editing. You could put that in that spot and then switch back to her where she's just kind of like mortified. And hopefully I haven't messed up the part where she's just like super embarrassed. She's still kind of sitting there like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so she's mortified right now. But hopefully this will be the right one. So we're going to post my name. Let's go on and Control V and let's do that. And hope that this is the right one. Of course, you're going to want to hit V so you can hit record. And is he going to scratch? He's still not scratching his head. Dude, scratch your head for me. Scratch it. No, I'm telling y'all, this is a tough game. It is a tough game. But let's see if there's any more. I just knew that was going to be it. Idle, scratch head. But you know what? That doesn't say seated. So it makes me wonder if it needs to be a seated one. Scratch floor, scratch head. Okay, that's for fleas. Scratch bed. Bed. All right. I might have to put seated scratch. Because that one is just scratching. But, you know, sit. Wait, hold on. I just saw something previous. Sit, template, scratch, loop, start. Okay, well, you know what? It says sit template. Let's try this one really quickly. I really want to show you guys this because it comes in handy. I've actually used it quite often. But the fact that I can't find the right one right now is just like, seriously? Just because, post my name, just because I can't. All right, let's see if this one's it. All right, so we're just going to hit play. All right, so this still isn't it. Alrighty, well, for some reason I cannot find the right animation to make him scratch, but it's cool. We won't stress over it too much because as you guys see, there's more than 100 matches for the term scratch in this document. So it could be any one of them. And honestly, it feels like seated table. It feels like, okay, no, I'm about to say it feels like we went through these all over again. But see, right cheek, chest. Okay, maybe we did. Did we go through all of them? Just that? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Scratch, read, thinking, scratch head. Yeah, no, we did. I feel like we went through all of them again. I feel like we did. But I will show you guys how this comes in handy when you are in the process of okay, scratching. Okay, well, scratching post. Yeah, I think we're good, y'all. I think I can't. I know that there is a way to do it, but I honestly do not see it going through. And it might not even be scratch. It might be something else. I feel like it would be scratch. I feel like it would be. But yeah, we're back up to the top of the document. So we're not going to worry about that right now. Let me just go on and switch back over to document. But he did do it earlier. And if I was recording that part, which I was, I could totally just go and grab that edited part and put that in where she said something. He's scratching his head like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And then she's totally reacting like, oh my gosh. So right now she's kind of embarrassed. This is actually a perfect view of her face. And we could just kind of like press one. And she's just kind of like, okay, I can't believe I just said that. I am absolutely mortified. And she's just so embarrassed. Maybe at this point she'll excuse herself and actually go to the bathroom. So I'm going to actually have her get up and go to the restroom. We got the ladies' bathroom right here. There. Ooh, this is a snazzy looking bathroom. All right, so we're going to have her come over here. It kind of comes in handy when you have testing treats true on, which is one of the cheats that I say I use. I actually leave it on due to MC command mod. I actually leave it on. But this one actually comes in handy because I could just teleport her here. So I would just shift click the ground, hit teleport here, and she should just literally just appear in there, which would be totally cool. And then that way I don't have to worry about her like actually walking over there and taking a lot of time. So at this point, she is like totally, look at her. She is totally mortified. But you see how quick you could just change their mood, and their whole demeanor changes, their stance and everything changes. And at this point, I can have her give herself a pep talk. Like, girl, you got this. He's cute. He's a DJ and everybody likes him in San Myshuno, but you know, he's here with me right now. So just get over it. Get over yourself, just whatever. So at this point, I would just have her give herself a pep talk. I'm gonna go on and get this view right here with her looking at herself in the mirror. Okay, yeah, I know, girl. I know, it's a talking toilet. It's a talking toilet. All right, so we're over here. She's giving herself a pep talk. And if I want to get the view in the mirror, I can do it this way. Of course, pressing V to record. And she is like going in right now. Then I can come over here and she has her hands up in the air sometimes, saying, "Hey, yo, gotta let go." Anyway, then I come over here and get this view from over here. And she's just like, "Girl, just breathe. You got it. It's okay. It's all right. Oh, just breathe. You got it. It's okay." All right. So she feels better, right? She should feel better. And I think we're good to go. And so now she's back in her flirty mood. But if I wanted her to stay embarrassed, of course, I could just toggle and put that back in the embarrassed thing. She's already coming out the bathroom, feeling oh so confident. But before she sits down, I want to go through the pose by name thingy. So if there is a situation, let's just go back and see if there's anything I can have her do really quickly. But we got like chat loops right here, so I can show you guys how this works. But we'll do chat loop female just because it's sitting right here. I'm gonna copy it and go back into this, and I can show you guys like how at least that works, so you can know how to make it work for you. So we're just gonna do pose by name, and this is like a cast one. It should work fine. I've done it before. So as soon as she stops walking here, we should be able to see. Okay, where are you going? Where are you going? Can you stop for a second? She wants to go eat. She's trying to go eat real quick. Okay, so she's pretty much not. She's not going to do it because now she's sitting down. Darn it. Okay, let me have her stand up here. Go here real quick. I know she wanted to go sit down and eat that food really quickly. And I do want to get views of them eating the food because that's part of the first date Machinima part. So let's go here, post by name, and put this back in. I mean, she like beelined to that. All right, so.
One genie.
All right, there she go right there. So she's doing her little cast talk right now. So if we just wanted her to sit here and just talk idle, her mouth's not, oh, there we go. And so this is how pose by name actually works. So if you just want her to have like a conversation where she's like talking with somebody, but you want her to be like this in this view, you could totally do like this. Same thing goes for, like I said, applauding, clapping, you know, just anything like that. You could do it like that. So I just want to show you guys how that works. I'm gonna have her go on and sit down and eat her grilled steak and drink her, I forgot what that's called. Her sweet llama. Her sweet llama. I don't even know. But anyway, so now they're eating. She's feeling a lot better. She's feeling flirty and stuff right now. He, on the other hand, is drunk. Do I want him to stay drunk? Actually, that might end up being like for a good story. So I'm going to keep it on him. The food just got here. She just sat down to come sit back down and eat. I mean, not sit back down. I said that completely backwards. Anyway, she just sat down to eat and he's sitting over here already sloshed. Because while she was gone, maybe on the flip side, he was kind of nervous. And his reaction was more of a nervousness to her nervousness. You ever heard of that before? Where it's like he might have scratched his head because he didn't know how to respond to her, which made her nervous, but he scratched his head because he was nervous. You know, I've heard of things like that before. Hey, it happens to me, unfortunately. So anyway, and so while she was gone, he went and got drunk. So it's like slowly turning into like a date from like, I don't even know. But they truly kind of like each other. And, you know, that's kind of like how it is. But he's already done finished eating. She, on the other hand, is still kind of getting it together. Okay. Who is this talking to them? You're all in my view shot. Anyway, so I'm going to get her eating and stuff right now. This guy right here, I guess, is asking us how our meal is going. So I would probably just like get a little bit of his shot or whatever. But I mean, that's pretty much, you know, how you do it. So I want to show you guys really quickly while she's still eating. He is drunk. I'm going to have him go here just so I can kind of show you. Because I do have a couple of animations in my game that are more so for talking, but personally I'm on the fence about using these, but again, it's your prerogative, I guess, like the type of, I guess, what am I trying to say? It's kind of like what you want your style to be. So I'm not saying that I'm against these for anybody, but for me personally, I just don't really like using these. But there are some animations that you can have in your game where you could do it from the pose player. So we got like animation couple if you want to do something with two people. I have this one too. Then I have some hospital poses, stuff like that. The right to remain silent is one of the ones I use a lot with trying to arrest Sims, because you really can't like just arrest somebody in the game, unfortunately, but you could do it like that. Then we have some talking idols and stuff like that. So here's one right here, and I'll put the link in the description for all of these, but you could do look in front. Why am I here? Everyone, I am not secure. Well, I am alive, you idiot. And majestic vamp. So let me just click this one. I'm actually click through all of them just to kind of show you guys. But these are just like talking animations, and I could just have them queued up. And then he could kind of just like, as soon as he figures out where he's going. All right. So this is one of the animations right here. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's widely used a lot for different little machinima making and stuff like that. They kind of do like this little side by side thing, and they kind of talk. But personally, like I said, it's kind of hard to evoke like a certain emotion, as opposed to me just like making him, you know, sad, or making him embarrassed, or making him just whatever. He's just kind of like swinging side to side, and that's pretty much like that one. Then if I wanted to X that one out and do like the next one, we could do that one. And I'm assuming the way it is like maybe the words they're saying is actually what the title of that animation is. Like if he's saying, why am I here? But that's him talking. He has his arms like across his shoulders. I mean, across his arms. He has his arms crossed, rather. I can't talk today. And then here's this one where he's looking like he's a little bit insecure, and he's kind of just like grabbing his shoulders and everything like that. Then we got this one here, which we can go next, kind of twiddling his thumbs a little bit, you know. But I guess my concern with using this one is that if you try to do this one in conjunction with in-game animations, they don't look matching to me. You know, so I personally don't like to use these for that reason, because they are limited, and you have to rely on the fact that the creators will make. Oh, are you actually floating? Okay, are you actually floating, dude? Okay, he's actually floating. I've never seen that one before. But anyway, so I have quite a bit of those. But I just really put them on my game just to kind of show you guys that there's other options that you have. So that was the talking idol. This one here. Then we have Speaking Smiles. This is another one where you can, I got a plan. Here's why. So let me just click through these real quick, and I can show you guys these and then go from there. We are not going to do good on this date, but that's okay. But anyway, she's talking. He's explaining himself right now. And the same thing goes for the ladies too. You could also do stuff like that for them. Things of that nature. So we're just going to X through these real quick. Alrighty. So he's doing his little talking, and yeah, I know a lot of people when I watch some machinimas, they use these. But yeah, it's just weird because you'll do this one, and then if I go back to have him talk to her, it'll be like a totally different aesthetic. It won't be the same. So that's why I said personally I just don't like to use those. But there's quite a bit. I have that one too. Then I have okay, we got some smoking ones, got some sexy floor poses. Anyway, we got premium talking animations, which is another one that has like a bunch. This one has quite a bit too. And it's covering chest on couch, sitting against counter, laying on bed. And you could just kind of like do all of your animations based on what your situation is. And if you're going to use this and you're going to do like poses with couples and stuff, you're going to need to get the Sim4 teleporter as well, because that'll come in handy to have them set up properly and all that type stuff. So I'm just going to have them kind of like finish off their date. Because I kind of want them to get a good date, to be honest with you. Deep conversation. And then have her talk with him a little bit. Let's do a friendly ask about day. We need to do like 4 more interactions in like a small amount of time. Ask about love life. We already did all of these. But I mean, that's pretty much like how you do it. Now, when it comes to doing actual like voiceovers and stuff like that, that's something that you would do in the... Is he finished? Okay, good. I'm like, say, come sit down. All right. So that's something that you would actually do like in the editing process, and that's a whole nother situation. And you guys can kind of chime in down in the comment box like how if you'd want me to do an editing video, like how I edit my videos. The only problem with that is there's multiple editing programs, and the two that I toggle between is like iMovie, which is an Apple exclusive product, and Final Cut, which is also an Apple exclusive product. I have used Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and I'm familiar with it. And I'm also familiar with Sony Vegas, but I don't use those readily enough to like explain to you guys like how to do things. But if you want me to show you, I I would love to say that they are similar, like maybe as I show you in iMovie is just like doing it in Sony Vega, but I don't think it is. I think there's like some subtle differences that might make it difficult to do like the same things or whatever. So let's complain about heat. We're not going to get good on this date, y'all. Ask about day. Yeah, it's just not working. Let's see, express admiration, because for some reason I queued them up to do a whole bunch of stuff, but it's just not working for us. Ask about day. Oh, you know what, maybe it needs to be him doing it because he's the one that asked her on the date. So let's flirt a bit. We got a last exception. All right, complain about heat. Okay, I think that's what it was. He had to be the one to do it. All right, so date was considered unsuccessful, but that's okay because we were just doing the acting portion anyway. And that look on her face right now. But so anyway, that's pretty much how I do a lot of the acting. It's a lot of MC command mods, cheating the moods, and a lot of just setting up conversations, filtering the camera back and forth, just kind of like going side by side, and setting up different little scenarios, storyboarding, of course, knowing exactly what you want to happen, how you want it to happen, when you want it to happen, angles and stuff like that. And of course, like even with doing settings, like figuring out what setting you want it to be. Is it going to be at a hospital? Is it going to be at a museum? Is it going to be at a restaurant? You got to kind of do all that stuff too, in order to kind of like tell the story that you want to tell. And that's kind of like all part of the plan. Trying to see if there's anything else I need to say before I end this part. I guess that's like pretty much it. But I guess before I let you guys go, though, let's see real quick, because I kind of want to go through. I want to stress the importance of the sim mood type things, because it really makes a difference when you can do. It's like if I do like a board or whatever right now, it really makes a difference with how they act based on what their mood and stuff is. So like right now, if I toggle into the board stuff, like immediately his face is kind of changed. He's kind of like forcing this smile, but he is kind of drunk right now. So he's just kind of like, okay, she just keeps talking and talking and talking. And the same, but again, of course, if that's the story you're trying to tell, that they're on this date and it's like bombing, she's embarrassed, he's bored, then you kind of just want to like have those moods be what they actually have. And then if I want to make him tense all of a sudden, then I can just do that. And then look, his face, he's still kind of drunk. So what I could do is, if I want to get rid of the drunk moodly, this is where UI cheats comes in, is I could right click this over medicated and get rid of that. I could also get rid of the tipsy, but it's not really making a difference. But you look at his face, all of a sudden he's like half kind of like, okay, when is this date going to be over? I'm like so ready to go. The football game is on. He's like murmuring under his breath. Like if you see like the way his lip and stuff is, it makes a difference when you can have them kind of like have their emotions. And again, this is the reason why I just like using the in-game stuff and not so much the animations that you could get from the pose player. And if she's like really trying hard, I guess I could do like MC command, MC cheats. Let's change her mood real quick into something else. Let's see, positive. If I want to make her super playful and she's just being like super jokey and stuff, and he's just like, whatever. Again, she has like way more flirty. So what I would do is just right click this, and then now she'll have more of the hysterical thing going on. And so her expressions and stuff should be a little bit different. At least I would hope they would be. But even with that, y'all, comes the different interactions she can do. Because now that she's playful, we have probably more playful things we can do on the pie chart here. That will probably be more under funny. Flash crazy eyes. If I wanted her to do that, she's like, wait. And then look, he just scratched his head. You son of a gun. You just scratched your head. That's what I wanted you to do earlier. And he's just like, okay, like if you say so. Like his face is just like, oh, okay, he's laughing. He found it funny. But anyway, you can kind of do that. And he's still super tense. Of course, it's going to come over. Okay, she's fanning herself. So, you just kind of got to play around with those emotions and stuff to kind of like get the vibe that you want to get from them. I'm going to actually X out all this stuff because I don't want her to, and then get rid of that too. Hopefully she'll just turn to fine. He's like super tense right now. But he's super flirty as well from a hot lunch date. So even though they didn't really get a good lunch date, it still is okay. So I'm just going to change his mood to regular happy here, and then he could just be okay. Well, now he's very confident. Okay. And then I'm going to change her mood to just happy too. And that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have for this episode. Like I said, it's more so just like playing your game and just capturing those moments as you're playing it, setting up the conversation, setting up things of that nature. Oh, and real quick, I will show you guys one more thing. There are certain situations where, besides doing the pose by name, where you want your Sims to like have conversations, but they might just be having them with themselves. One way you could do that is actually change your Sims personality to erratic, or it used to be insane, but now it's erratic. So I'm gonna show you guys that real quick. So in cats, of course, you can change their personality to erratic, and that'll make them have the ability to talk to themselves, where it looks like they're talking with somebody, but they're essentially talking to themselves. I use this quite often too, because there's sometimes when your Sims, even if they're sitting down and they're talking, they like to stand up and talk, and you might want to have them just sitting and talking. So especially if they're like sitting across from each other. And I've noticed that before when I've tried to do other machinimas. It's like the most annoyingest thing. You'll try to like set up for them to like have a conversation, and they'll want to stand up. So if you put erratic on, you could just click them and have them talk to themselves. I'll show you guys that real quick. So we've given Raylyn here that cheat, that little erratic, I guess you could say cheat. So what I'm gonna do is just click her, and then when you go to more options, it says tell story to self or talk to self. Now, depending upon what mood they're in, the stories might be a little bit differently. Like I know when you do sad and you say talk to self, they have like a more of a sad type look to them, which I'll show you guys that in a second. But if I just hit talk to self, she'll have like a whole conversation with herself, and she's not really talking to him, but it'll look like she's talking to him, but she's really not. So right now I think he's talking to her. Okay. Yeah, he's talking to her right now. So she's doing her whole little interaction. I know, girl. That's a crazy story, but your nails are popping though. All right. So we're waiting for that little interaction to come up. Ooh, she's going to talk to self. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so she's like super flirty right now. But see, like even like the way she's like throwing her shoulders and stuff back, it's different. Like if she was just like regular happy, she wouldn't be doing that. It just wouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna cheat her bladder real quick because, all right, there we go. Is something stinking right now? Oh, there's like a fog or something going on over here. All right, so let me X this out so she can, oh, she didn't talk to herself. Let me do this again. All right, some more choices. All right, there we go. Talk to self. And see, so now she's having a whole conversation with herself, but she's flirty. So her flirty is like she's talking to herself, but look how she's doing it. It's like totally different. Let me change her mood real quick so I can show you guys like how this works. So I'm gonna change her to sad, and I can show you guys how that looks. And then I'll have her talk to herself again. So now she's sad. We're gonna have her talk to herself, and see now her self-talk is a little bit sadder. She's pretty much saying the same thing, but it's just sad. So if you just want to have like a general conversation, you can just do that. For some reason, that's making her laugh. I don't know why. Or you could tell a story to self, and it's a little bit more dramatic. It's that one, which I don't use this one quite often because of her arms floating around and everything like that. But that is something that you could do if you want them to have a conversation. But they're not really like, she's not really talking to him, but it looks like she is. You could do that. That's like a little, I guess, cheat type thing. I've done this one before, like if I'm trying to do like news coverage and the sim is literally just standing there, but they don't have anybody to talk to, but you want them to tell a story. So I'll do that. I'll just put the erratic on and just let them do their own talking to themselves. And again, like I said, depending upon their mood, like if I do right now, MC cheats, let's change her mood to something, like right now, she's still kind of sad. If I do like energized, and then I do a talk to self. She's very energized right now. Talk to self. Okay, it's gonna be more regular, but I know that there's different ones. Like if you do like sad, flirty, whatever like that, then the talk to self will be a little bit different than just like the normal stuff. But it kind of looks like they're talking to each other, and he's like watching her like tell her story, but she's really talking to herself. You get what I'm saying? So you just gotta kind of play around with it. But that's like some of the things that I like to do. Like I said, definitely just setting up your scene. Having your Sims like just actually play your Sims and just catch those moments as they're playing them. Doing the talking to self, doing the animations in conjunction, or the poses in conjunction with the acting and stuff of that nature. She didn't even drink none of her drink. Can you drink that, girl? And things of that nature. So, oh, look at that moon back there. That is absolutely stunning. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think in that comment box down below. Is it okay? I was like, is it bad already? What in the world is going on over here? That's nothing new to you guys. You can catch people doing their thing. Oh, did he just curse at her, Mortimer? Mortimer is low-key abusive to Bella. Okay, Like there's so many times I've caught like a Mortimer acting crazy with Bella, like in the background. I'm like, girl, why is you with, I know he got money, but why is you with this man? Anyway, long story short, now she's going to leave out angry. He called himself angry because she angry. And that ain't how it goes, Mortimer. I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comment box down below. And if you have any questions, and also, you know, if you have anything that you need me to cover again, or anything that you'd like me to cover in previous ones, I think the next episode I'm probably going to do is probably more advanced stuff, like maybe green screening and stuff like that. If you guys want me to do an editing episode, let me know. I could kind of figure out a way to do it in a way where I'm not completely confusing you guys, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.